Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. I'm again, I have had a really long break from YouTube because simply I haven't had time to breathe, and actually it was too much. Like, currently, I have too much going on in my life that I really feel overwhelmed, but I hope at some point it's gonna get better. Right now, I don't see any improvement, but I'm sure like in a few weeks it's gonna be better. It's just that a few things have started that are taking up a lot of space in my life, and none of them are quite yet here at calming. Like, I'm still doing a lot for my association, like for my hobby. I still I want to spend a lot of time with my partner, but just I'm very busy, he's also busy, so we cannot see each other a lot, and if we do, then we completely spend the time together. So then also during those times I don't have time for any other things that I would like to do. And then I just started school this week. I'm in school, uni, and also I'm still working, so it's just so many things. And really, whenever I have time for myself, I usually have to answer text messages or eat or do things. It's very crazy. I haven't had something like that before, or not for as many weeks in a row, you know what I mean? But yeah, as I said, I hope it's just gonna get better. I got a question. I wanted to do a video anyway, but I just got a question and I thought I'm gonna answer it. And it's about sitting still and not moving, and how wait, honestly I just forgot the name. Gabriela. I've answered so many questions and I just blended it out. Anyway, Gabriela, her uni started again, and so before everything was online she could work out during her classes, and now obviously because they're back in the building she has to sit down during all of the lectures and not move, and that's very difficult for her mentally. But honestly, I'm glad that this is happening, because this should be one of the first things you tackle in recovery. Of course, eating a lot should be it, but then together with eating a lot is resting a lot. When I was in my real recovery, like the most difficult but the most intense time, I was just sitting the whole time. Actually, not even sitting, I was laying in my bed watching lectures. When I had online lectures, I have to sit more comfortably. Sorry. I would watch those lectures like this, just on my bed, chilling. And that wasn't too difficult for me, because maybe also because I have never really had that many issues with movement. How's it called? I'm even starting to forget the recovery terms. But you know what I mean. Like, that was never too much of a thing for me to always having to move. The only thing that I always did was I would always walk everywhere, and I would hate taking the bus if I could walk, and if someone would move more than me, that would be very, very difficult for me. I would have to at least move the same amount. But when I started recovery, I knew I was gonna take it so seriously, and resting is one of the most crucial things, together with eating everything that comes to your mind, that I knew I had to do that, and I just did it. I don't even know how to tell you how I did it. I'm gonna read the question again. I simply just laid throughout my classes, and actually usually I was just very tired, because that happens in recovery. When you allow it, you get super tired, so I would just be tired enough to sit. But wait, how do you cope with sitting still? So how did I cope with it? Of course, I would have a lot of thoughts. On my own, I would think like that I was lazy, etc., like the normal things. But then, especially when people would say things like, "Oh, I had to go on a run because like I'm sitting around so much," and I was like, "What?" Because I would not. And I know, like, even if you have to sit a lot, you still probably want to work out afterwards. Don't do that, please. Do me a favor. Really, recovery is about sitting and resting the whole time and not having some breaks of sitting and then doing exercise, because that will still break kind of what you're building up. And so there's no way of coping other than feeling shitty, because you will feel bad when you do something that is like against your disordered thoughts. And yeah, it's very difficult because usually with those questions, coping is not something where you can do it at a certain routine and then feel good about it, but you just have to go through feeling shitty, and it will only get better after many, many days, many, many weeks, many, many months. It's not something where you can do or think a certain thing and then all the pain and all the feeling bad about yourself is gonna be away. No, that's impossible. So yeah, I think I just let myself feel lazy, and together with laying around, I would eat the whole time. Yeah, I mean now I do like standing up and this and that, but back then I remember I just wanted to lay around. Like there was no single cell of motivation in me to do exercise or to even walk, so I wouldn't do it because that was what my body needed. And nowadays I'm just naturally having more energy, except right now because I'm so busy that everything feels no. Usually I'm okay, but then sometimes I'm just dead. But that's not because of food, but because of always being busy. And so I'm again trying to read. Yeah. So you're disappointed that it didn't go away naturally, but you have to think that for so many years and for so much time, you were training yourself to believe that you have to exercise during lectures. So obviously now it's not going to be easy for you to just accept that you don't. Even though probably like consciously you know it's better that you are not moving that much, but then so like your biased head will tell you that it's very bad. Yeah, I can just refer back into any other videos about really having to rest. If you do exercise during your recovery, you will not really get out of recovery, you will just keep being in recovery. So if you really want to reach the end and get better, you have to follow the two principles of eating whatever comes to your mind, and then also resting and not moving, not doing exercise for at least like half a year to a year, completely cutting it out. I would say preferably a year, but then more realistically at least 6 months really not doing any exercise, because it will not help you. Trust me, even though it's a quick fix, it will not help you in the long run. So that's kind of all that I can tell you. Yeah, what else? I mean, I feel like I have really stagnated when it comes to like body and recovery, but in a good way, because there was nothing that I would say should have improved, because I already feel very recovered. I barely think about recovery. Sometimes obviously there's one or two thoughts popping up, but very, very rarely. And then sometimes it's like, oh, maybe I should take something with more veggies. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, she's so thin, like she must feel so good. And I'm like, girl, what the fuck? Like, I know myself, it doesn't mean that you feel better when you're thinner, but sometimes the thoughts pop up, but it's really maybe like once a month, something like that. And then I just tell myself that it's not true. Point. But I never really think about restricting. I actually have the opposite problem. I always try to find food and eat food because if I'm not busy doing something, I'm hungry. So then it's just I'm doing something and then I'm hungry and I have to eat and I'm doing something. So whenever I have time to think about food, I think about it and I eat. And now I'm actually so comfortable also that I don't care too much eating much in front of other people. For example, last week I was in a camp, like a very short camp, and there I was so hungry. I don't know, I think it was finally I was sitting down, like I haven't had too much time in the morning. So when I came there, I was just so desperate for food. And I was so happy when I saw snacks, and I kept going back there and everyone was laughing because it was kind of funny how much of a sweet tongue. In German we say like sweet tongue, literally. No, that's not even true. I forgot how we call. I forgot. I'm so stupid. What do we say? Anyway, I really love sweets and people notice that, and before I would have been so embarrassed, and then also I would have thought like, oh my god, but I'm eating more than my best friend and blah blah blah. And now all of that has gone because I know my needs. I know what I eat works for me and I don't have to care what other people are looking for. And then even in the same camp, it happened that when we were done and going home, we went to like a little supermarket, and there I wanted to buy a sweet drink, but I didn't know what. And then the one guy, he was like, you can take Pepsi Max, there's no sugar. And I was like, but I want sugar. And he was like, okay. And then I took a like normal Coca-Cola. I tried the vanilla one, but honestly, I'm not too fond of Coca-Cola anyway, but I wanted to try vanilla because it keeps, like, I keep seeing people with it and I wanted to try, but not too much my taste. But yeah, things like that I'm very proud of, that I even say like, no, I'm not taking that option, I'm taking the one with the most calories. Yeah, and usually also that's what I do on purpose. Like sometimes I actually look for things with a lot of calories because I don't have too much time to eat, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of doing the opposite of what ED me would have done, which is nice. Yeah, wishing you all the best, and I could help a little bit, but it's just with those things, like how do I cope? You really just have to endure all of the pain and all of the feeling bad, and now it's very far away. I feel like it's been 2 years since I've been feeling that way, but I still know that it was horrible. Like I would cry so much, I would feel very bad, but I promise you, if you keep on doing things that scare you, at some point it will just get better. You will have to have a lot of patience, but it will get better. And that's only possible if you go very extreme with being lazy and eating a lot. So yeah, bye bye.